week. Not a whole lot to talk about with this shoe. Just going to do a quick review and a comparison to the previous model. So without further ado, the HOVR Phantom 2 SE. I've got the two different color laces in right now. These are a great color. The HOVR Run Phantom 2 SE. It's a great colorway. We're just gonna call them like the Sunrise Edition. Real great heel counter, says runner on the back. Got your hover cushioning. I got the two different laces in there, little 3M accents on the laces. Good looking shoe. So they didn't change a whole lot from the first edition to the second. The upper has a slightly different look. The main thing that you'll realize is that the previous upper was done in their kind of knit. They tried to do a fused sort of knit, didn't come across that well. It was kind of crunchy, kind of thick, didn't flex as well, and the collar was much higher. These, however, are a lot more conducive to wearing around the ankle. The hover cushioning is great, but my only problem with that cushioning is if it needs a cage. Okay, so you see there how it's wrapped in a standard foam cage. You can feel that cage on the inside. Your foot is actually riding that ridge between the center portion, which is the hover cushioning, and the actual foam cage. So what gives it its shape in this instance, and Under Armour even says that their hover technology was so soft that it needed caging to keep it tight and keep its shape. So that right there is a drawback, because you can feel that. You can feel that cage in the ride from heel to toe. Now, I will say the hover cushioning is really, really comfortable. It's really nice. It's a big old pillow of soft cushiness. However, if you are not a heel striker, you're not getting a whole lot of benefit out of it. That's the problem with a lot of these cushioning systems, is they are built for heel strikers. From air to boost, what I like about boost is that boost being the entire midsole, you're going to get that benefit even in the forefoot. But when you're looking at a shoe like this, all of that heel strike, all that technology is in the heel strike. So what if I'm a midfoot striker? What if I'm a toe striker? Then I'm out of luck, you know? And so it's often lost on me in particular, so all I can give you is my opinion. It's often lost on me to have that kind of cushioning be heavy in the back with very little in the forefoot and toe. Now, as I said, they went with a mesh. I got a little spot of something on mine. Oh, that's probably my fault. There it is. So, okay, so they went with the mesh. That's a big improvement for flexibility, for comfort, for breathability. The other ones were not very breathable. This side is kind of a fused neoprene type of material stitched onto the mesh. You've got your ghillie lacing system. The flat laces, round laces. I know people don't do round laces as much anymore, but the flat laces don't always go inside those very easily. But not a big deal, not a huge deal. Perforation on that neoprene fused or sort of heat molded side. The ankle collar improved a whole lot with the shape of the ankle, and then bordered by that nice finishing material. Pull tab is flat. I like that. Not a lot of bumps to give calluses. My last review, you saw I gave me a lot of calluses on that heel. The interior of the shoe is still the Speedform. It's Speedform 2.0, but it's stitched in. So if you're going to add anything, it's going to make the fit a lot tighter, because you cannot pull these insoles out. I'll show you comparison between the two shoes, and then I'll show it on foot. Okay, so you can see the tread is just about the same. Midsole, all the tooling is just about the same. On the hover portion there, I know it's an upside down mirror image, but you can see it quite well. It is the same. Some of that webbing that they put around the hover material, this webbing is a little smaller. So they may have made some form improvements that allowed the hover material to not need to be kept in shape so much. You will notice a major difference in the heel counter. Okay, see if I can lay this flat real quick so that you can get a better view of it. Okay, there we go. So you can see major differences in the heel counter. This heel counter doesn't come as far forward. And then on the back there, just a slight dip below the Achilles, which wasn't really necessary. It wasn't rubbing or anything. This one is much more stout. Goes a little bit higher up on the heel and comes forward a little bit after it separates from the actual shoe. Still the same material. This one might even be a little more stout, which is good. Laces are about the same. This one is slightly thinner, I believe. Gilly lacing system is right there. It's all good, just about the same. But you will notice, okay, so again, that fused sort of neoprene side being married to the collar. But what you'll see is this had a knit collar, which was really very tight, really hard to get into. Whereas this one now has the mesh and just a bonded collar, you know, to finish off with the stitching. Nice and clean. This gives a much better fit, much easier to get your foot into. And then in the forefoot, again, that knit was a very strange material and it did not breathe at all. And then here, perforated mesh, much more comfortable. Okay, so the upper improvements definitely made this shoe a better choice, a better iteration this go around. They showed the improvements that a shoe normally gets on the second go around. Okay, there we are on foot. It's a good look. It's a really, really good look. Colors are fresh. Got a little summertime left in them. That sherbet look. Although in fall and winter, these are still going to go. Very, very clean lines. Love the medial side, even though the lateral side has all the cake and it's got all the good looks on it. Really, really nice. God, this is a good looking shoe. Props to Under Armour. The first Phantom was dope, but after you wear it for a while, you start to see some of the omissions, some of the flaws. But this is a really good looking shoe. Now, box price on these is $140. I was able to get my hands on my pair for right around $112. And so, again, that made them even more enticing. I anticipate that in a few weeks, these are going to go down even more. Right around the 100 mark, these are definitely worth it. They're running out of some sizes, but you can definitely get them for the low, and they are definitely worth it at that low. At 140 is kind of a stretch, but for the low, it's good. Now, I will say, I have had these on to work out. I did some jogging in them, some jump roping. These would definitely be good for the gym. They're a stout shoe. I know that they are billed as a runner, but they are not your traditional running shoe. It's a little bit stiffer than that. More like a cross trainer. The tread on the bottom is very, very good, so trail running wouldn't be a problem. Grass wouldn't be a problem, but definitely more of a gym type shoe. They actually gave The Rock his version of this shoe, which I felt matched more with the profile of the shoe. Works very well for that. Now, the last bit that I will say about this shoe is at the $140 price point, these are the versions of their shoes that will connect with their app. Under Armour bought my run, I want to say a couple of years ago. And so these can Bluetooth to your device to track your running, your working out. I probably won't be running in them, but it's really cool. I do have that app, and I might do the connection if I'm at the zoo, or if I'm walking around, or if I'm traveling. These would definitely be a travel shoe because they got a little day to night flair with them. So I might be connecting them right there. There you have it, Under Armour HOVR Phantom 2.